Good evening everyone, or good morning I should say. My apologies for the late stream tonight. I hope you've all had a wonderful Wednesday and thank you for joining me. Also, thank you for all your support over the past couple of days with the streaming as I start to find my step. And tonight I'm going to discuss 3D printing. Now, if you're unfamiliar with 3D printing is a method that's commonly referenced to as additive manufacturing. That is, rather than say taking a block of wood and chipping away what they need to have the final structure, what they do is they'll add it bit by bit, and they use a number of different products, whether it be a resin or a plastic like PVC, and they'll create various products from that. Most notably is the benefit that 3D printing brings with, especially with manufacturing, the fact that you can essentially manufacture anything from scratch. And it does it, I guess, with a high degree of reliability, a high level of detail, and yeah, it's a new, exciting field. New and exciting field. So I was first introduced to 3D printing back in 2015. I'd met some friends that were fellow tech enthusiasts, and they showed me their 3D printer, and we began to work on some things. And at the time I had some experience in C, so I was helping them with the interface and communicating with the servos that would drive what they were building. Now that then led to me purchasing a 3D printer and then getting a second one, and I'll actually pull it out right here. So this is the Micro M3D. This is my most recent one. Now you can get these for about $349 online from the US, and as you can see they're quite small. Now for something for reference, there we go, there's a water bottle. So this one's more of a portable 3D printer as opposed to some of the larger ones which I've owned in the past. Now, despite its small size, it doesn't mean that you're limited to printing something in those dimensions. With 3D printing, you can print things in stages. So what I'll do first is I thought I'd show some of my 3D prints that I've done in the past, and then I'll discuss some of my experiences and maybe how you can get started in 3D printing. So probably the best example of a print that's been printed multiple times. Now, as you can see, this is quite large, this is taller than the printing area there. So how was it done? Well, we just did it in stages, and essentially you add the stages together, and then with finishing, as the process is called, you add them all together, polish it all down, spray it up, and you're left with something like that. So that's an architectural model. We'll leave that one there, and you guys might recognize this one. That's One World Trade Center. So that's a replica model there of One World Trade, so I can put that. There we go. So not only can you do architectural models, you can do other cool things. So I started getting into the mixing of electronics and 3D printing. So in this print, it's essentially a micro Nintendo NES, I think they're called. And what this houses is a Raspberry Pi, and it's got a 6-in-1 game emulator. So you plug your controller in via a USB port at the front, or play wirelessly, and yeah, it comes apart. Let me see if I can, there we go. So it comes apart with the board sits in there, and that project's actually up online. You can see that working, and of course you'll notice it's different colors. So you've got a number of different options here. You can get, of course, the different filaments in different colors, or you can color it in finishing, and I'll discuss that in a sec. And then, of course, we all know that one, Eiffel Tower. So there's some of my, I guess, architectural and smaller prints, and I mentioned the tech side of things. So one of the projects that I undertook was 3D printing a robotic arm, and I did this for under $100 in less than maybe about 100 hours as well. And what this is a small robotic arm with Arduino components, essentially controlling the claw and the arm and the axes. And yeah, that was just a little side project there. So involved a little bit of coding. But as you can see, 3D printing is only limited by your imagination. So while for many, 3D printing may not be something that is important, your children or anyone involved in, I guess, design and technology, a 3D printer is a great tool to have. Furthermore, they're about $400 for something like this. So, you know, you're not really looking at spending too much. Now, when it comes to 3D printing, it can be time consuming. So majority of your time will be, I guess, split apart into a couple of sections, and that is designing the model and making sure the model's correct. So you'll need a good CAD model and make sure there's no errors in it so that it prints properly. Then you'll need to check your printer and make sure it's got all the right temperature settings, because it's using additive manufacturing, so it uses heat to melt the filament, which I've got some here. Heat to melt the filament. Oh, there we go. We've got one of the plates, which goes through this this feeder here, and then comes out, and where are we? And ends up like that. Now you can actually see a time lapse on my YouTube of what the process looks like over a period of time, and it can get down to, as you can see, quite acute detail. So it does take a while to print. It does take a while to design, but the longest portion of the whole 3D printing experience is finishing. So that is when you get a product out of the printer, it'll be rough. There'll be bits of filament hanging off the edge there, and you'll need to sand those down. You'll need to get different grits. You'll need to apply, of course, finishing paint, because you don't want it to weather. So all those different things you then need to think about prior to doing your build. Now, when it comes to models, don't worry. You don't have to be an expert designer to get models. There's a lot of free resources where you can get existing models that people have designed, and they go from everything, as you can see, from chess pieces there, to the Nintendo NES that I showed you before. That was all from. Oops, I just dropped that. That was all from a website. Where are we? Called, oh gosh, I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, there's a website that essentially has all the models and anything you can ever think of, from I guess from if you ever break an adapter for a door or something and you can't get a replacement, you can print one out. I've done that before. So many solutions. I think actually I've got an example here where I did a where is it? There we go. So I did a security mount for someone for their webcam, and I'll just take you in there. So that was the mount that we printed, or that we scanned their original one, and I scanned that. I've got a 3D scanner. Where are we? I'll show you the 3D scanner. There's some more prints there. There you go, bag holders. There's a 3D scanner. So that's scanning a duck at the moment. And yeah, and that's a MakerBot, that brand. So yeah, lots of great uses for it. Now, other things to think about are the cleaning of the printer. So it does take a while to print, does take a while to finish, but also the cleaning. You've got to clean your printer thoroughly after every use. But despite all those small bits and pieces, it's very, very satisfying knowing that you can design something from scratch, and within a couple of hours, your design is in your hands and you can feel it and use it. And you know, if you are a designer, it's great for, I guess, prototyping and whatnot. If you're a model builder, if you're an artist, I'm sure there are purposes for it. But definitely check out the website, check out my YouTube channel with a couple of time lapses and other videos on 3D printing. If you have any questions, as always, comment below. But once again, thank you all for joining me. Hopefully we'll start to ramp things up with the live streaming and the vlog, in the sense of a better schedule and I guess better content. But let us know if you've got any ideas. As always, thank you so much for your support. Have a great Thursday, everyone. Peace out. Chat soon.